So yeah, Baby Driver. Baby Driver is an Edgar Wright movie. I don't know if I've seen. Maybe I've seen his stuff. I don't know. It has Kevin Spacey and some new people. And looks like I think it's the guy from House. Anyway, I don't know. And Jamie Foxx. It's got a bunch of people in it. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a score of 97. The critics seem to be fawning all over it. The movie is a heist movie, heist caper movie in the tradition of The Italian Job, the remake and the original, and some other heist movies. It's good. Go and see it in theaters. This is not going to be a very long review because I really can't complain about it too much. It was the free preview at San Jose Comic-Con months ago. I could have waited until the evening and seen Baby Driver months ago, but I did not. Which is why they kept showing trailers for it. But I did not see it then. I've seen it now that it came out in theaters. So the plot is that this young guy is drives a car, is a driver for these crooks who work for a guy who presumed from the very get-go, I guess as minor spoilers, was some sort of important government official, perhaps a senator. And they kept referencing the hub and stuff like that in the loop, but it's actually Atlanta, which was confusing. But that's Atlanta, not Chicago. Yes, they might have a hub there too, in a loop. So these heist jobs are put on by this important government guy who sends these crooks out to rob banks and postal offices and things like that in order to get the money back from people who are to get the money from people and be criminals. Baby goes into a diner and befriends this girl, which is in the trailer. She's not actually from... I thought she was from one of the young adult movies, like Hunger Games or something. Not Hunger Games, but maybe Maze Runner. But no, she's not. Really, just from TV apparently. So yeah, I don't watch a lot of current TV, so I wouldn't know. And so yeah, so this guy is apparently a really good driver because he has tinnitus. He received during a impact in a car crash that killed his parents, and they flash back to that a few times. So he has to play music, and somehow playing the music makes him good at timing, like heists and escaping and stuff. Now, Atlanta's probably not as big a bustling traffic city as L.A., but the one drawback to any big city like that, comparable to Chicago or something, or L.A., maybe it is as big as L.A., is that it's obviously to suspend disbelief, because there is no way in traffic this guy could get across town in Atlanta. It just wouldn't happen. Just like the 24 guy wouldn't be able to get across L.A., or in the Blues Brothers, they wouldn't be able to get across even Chicago in the 80s. It's still very crowded, even then. But the Blues Brothers wasn't really about heists so much as just maverick guys with a cop car. So the villains are this couple who are ridiculously over the top villains, and Jamie Foxx is in it, and there's these other two guys that are in it, and you saw in the trailer that the nose guy and the Asian guy put on these Mike Myers masks. If they get wrong Mike Myers, they get that guy from Austin Powers. That's in the trailer. A lot of the good lines are in the trailer. But what works for the movie, I think, is the musical score. The soundtrack goes with the stuff that's going on, including some original or some old stuff you haven't heard before. Like there's a B track to a famous song on the very beginning that I had never heard before. Apparently Blues Traveler or something. But, and I may have that wrong, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, so I don't want to give away too much because, yeah, it's not really a spoiler review, and I'm probably not going to do a spoiler review later. But so it's just to say it's good. Go see it in theaters. It's a heist movie. You find out who the guy was working for at the end and all that stuff. And also the kid is recording some of the conversations. I don't know how he gets away with that. And then remixing them into mixtapes. There was a funny scene in which one was a mixtape of him saying he's not retarded over and over again. He's not slow. Which is funny. And he did it as a mixtape, so it's like scratch the record and all that. Yeah, even though medically that wouldn't make sense if he's got tinnitus. I have a minor tinnitus actually, a little bit. No, it doesn't make you more efficient. It makes you less efficient. But again, a Hollywood movie in which they have a setup like that, where they have, oh, this character has something that makes him special somehow. It doesn't really. As they said during the days of the Pine Hill Legend high school, there's nothing special about being special. Well, yeah. So yeah, he wouldn't have good driving skills. He would just not be able to concentrate because he'd have a ring in his ear. But oh yeah, of course then the movie Split wouldn't happen either because that's not how split personality works. And The Accountant, another badass movie with a badass good guy, being autistic, he wouldn't act like that either because I'm also autistic, and that's not what that does. He'd be a terrible spy in The Accountant movie if he was autistic because he would tell everyone that he's autistic and that he's a spy. And they'd either think he was crazy or he totally wouldn't get away with it. So, but at least in the Baby Driver movie, it sort of makes sense the way they do it. They don't make it cartoony or overplay it. They just play it. The actors comment on the tinnitus thing. They're like commenting on it, which is funny. But what that condition also does is it magnifies other noises in the room that are high pitched, and it's really annoying. Yeah, so so he would be totally distracted and be a terrible driver in real life. But it's a movie, yeah. So fine. And the traffic. What would really happen in a real life situation in a heist movie is you'd have our hero buzzing down the road, and then there would be this long line of like 50 cars in front of him, and he'd stop, and he'd be like, "Nyeh. Ding, red light, ding, 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 ding," and then like the cops would catch him before the light turned green, and then he'd move another block, ting, light would catch him, and they'd catch him there too. I did like that they threw in 3 ideas from heist movie ideas that I thought of. That was cool. I guess Edgar Wright somehow is on the same wavelength. I don't think he got the idea from one of my stories, because I don't think I wrote it anywhere, but I suppose Mark Scards and I were in malls discussing it. Maybe his people were. I don't know. But one idea was in this movie. There's one point he has a red car. He's being chased by the police. Comes up around 2 other red cars. They all stop together. And then his red car and the 2 other cars follow him. And then they chase the other 2 cars. He gets away. And the other one was doing they do an armored car heist at one point, and I thought, what would be messed up is they do the armored car heist, but they catch them as they're loading the money, so they can't close the truck. They did that too, they kind of did that. Although they kind of did that in other heist movies to an extent. So, including a really bad comedy called Armored Car. It's really awful. But yeah, I'm not saying go out and commit a heist. I'm saying in a heist movie, that's how you would do stuff like that. And there's also, I thought of an idea where like they go into a parking garage and switch cars while they're in the parking garage. They did it like 3 times. It's like, yeah, that's what you do. You get into a crowded area if you're gonna like do a heist movie. You go somewhere where there's a bunch of other cars and you switch them, and then you take off. You make sure that all the dough is a hidden, whatever. And Morgan Freeman was in it as an old deaf guy who was in a wheelchair. I don't know what it is, but I haven't looked it up. But Morgan Freeman was in Monster Trucks as well in a wheelchair, and he was really a mess. I wonder if either he's getting really old or he has a condition. In his last couple movies, last 2 or 3, he's been further and further rated. They got to give him a Lifetime Oscar next year because man, he's going fast. So yeah, give him the Lifetime Achievement Award if you haven't. Oscars. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, man, it says he looked really feeble. I don't know if he was acting or what, but he was in a wheelchair in the other one too. Monster Trucks, and that was 6 months ago. But yeah, and now we can't even talk in the movie sign language. But yeah, maybe that was his character, but he's starting to, yeah, gotta be in his 80s at least. but yeah, so that was yeah, Baby Driver, yeah, and I won't give away the twist, sort of twist, the end and stuff, or the sort of twist. But yeah, yeah, go see it in theaters. Baby Driver. It's an odd title, but it's named after a Simon and Garfunkel song that I knew. But yeah, but yeah, sure, fine. Heist guy. You wouldn't think it would make sense, but it works in the movie, in the context of the movie. Yeah, so sure. Yeah, all the actors did well, and performances were fine, and and it's Atlanta allegedly. Well, I guess they film a lot of stuff in the ruins of where they didn't do too much of that. A lot of Hollywood movies are filmed in that area where there's a lot of ruins from the Katrina. They didn't do that in this one so much, so that was okay. But anyway, so yeah, Baby Driver. Heist movie. Yeah. Fine, it's cool. We'll go see it. Oh yeah, my rating. What was I rated? The previews all were forgettable. Including a preview for a remake of Flatliners. It's like, why remake that? Even the first one was kind of like, well, okay. But the remake makes it look like a hip action thing somehow, like a thriller, spy thriller thing, although it kind of wasn't. Well, they were sort of mavericks, out for thrills, but it wasn't supposed to be a thriller. Yeah, sort of, let's go to the other side. Ooh. But yeah, no. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, the Kingsman 2 as well. Shown as a preview. Yeah. Anyway, so there was pretty forgettable previews, but yeah. So that's this week. Yeah, whatever. Actually, the critics, I would say, in terms of other chase movies and stuff, although this is a very, very good movie, I would not say excellent, 97%, wonderful, super duper movie. They're saying almost 5 stars, 4.5. It's not not that good. What it is it's the midsummer realization that there haven't been a lot of good movies this year, so this one's the best so far. And under that note, one of the better ones so far, I would say 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. I would actually go down a little and say 85%. I've seen they did it in a clever way, yes, and it's trying to be original in parts, but you know, other times it's like a bunch of other heist movies I've seen where they've done things like the cars are the same color. The other thing that I mentioned, parking garage is relatively new, although they kind of borrowed the other parking garage scene from Fast and the Furious 7. Anyway, oh yeah. Edgar Wright would be a perfect director for Grand Theft Auto, as would Jason Lin. If they do a Grand Theft Auto movie, these two guys would be great for that. Yeah, Jason Lin and Edgar Wright. Grand Theft Auto movie. Kind of was, actually, in a way. Kind of was Grand Theft Auto. This would be what it would look like. if they do a movie. So yeah, 85, 86%. So that would be 4 stars, but that wouldn't be 5. Yeah. So yeah, go see it. It's a different kind of movie than Wonder Woman, but it's almost as good. A little better than Wonder Woman. It's on a par with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and some of the other ones. But yeah, it's a little better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's a different genre, really. It's action, thriller, a little different genre than sci-fi fantasy. I like to put them in different categories. Anyway, yeah. Baby Driver. There you go.